This week, we've been looking at the beatitude that says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." There are many different events that may occur in our lives that could potentially cause mourning. Usually, we would think about things like the death of a loved one, or the ending of a close relationship, like a divorce, or if a best friend moves across the country. But sometimes we can mourn for different reasons. Sometimes we may mourn for a habit or a stronghold in our lives that we have falsely believed that is providing something we need. Notice that Jesus attaches being comforted to mourning. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. It is so important to feel that comfort when we experience the death of a loved one, or a divorce, or a friend who moves away. However, there are other times that we may benefit from the comfort that comes from the Lord. Sometimes that sin that we return to over and over is because we have believed a lie from Satan that says that we will feel better if we just do this, or everything will be better if we just do that. You might say to yourself, if I'm mourning, I can drown my sorrows by finishing that bottle of wine. Or if I sleep with this person who's not your spouse, it will comfort me. These temporary fixes don't last and ultimately lead us to increased shame and sorrow. There are times in our lives when we need to be comforted, but Jesus is telling us that He is the person who will provide the comfort. When we are mourning, the reason that we're blessed is because the comforting that we will experience is from Christ and Christ alone. The challenge comes when we try to comfort ourselves in our own strength. Jesus spoke to this in the following parable from Luke 18. He said, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee, standing by himself, prayed, "God, I thank you that I am not like other men, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give tithes of all I get." But the tax collector, standing far off, wouldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, but he beat his breast, saying, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, but who is humbled will be exalted. You see, our greatest challenges in life come when we do things in our strength, in our power, in our abilities. Paul talked about this when he said, "I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me." When we deny ourselves and live for Christ, when we live a life in which we turn to Jesus for comfort and strength, it is in those times that we will not only feel God's comfort, but we will experience that peace that surpasses all understanding. It is at that moment we will be blessed.